that is totally false and the member should withdraw it. It's false. It's false.
The budget debate kicks off and tempers flare up. We've got the full breakdown.
A major thrust by NEMA to secure the future of disaster preparedness. I'm Clint Watson. The stories ahead in the Bahamas tonight.
And the best in women's basketball gets ready to take on the region. The Bahamas tonight, the National Report starts now.
Now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This portion of the news brought to you by BTC Every Day.
We're learning more about the country's financial roadmap as debate got underway on the 2015-2016 budget. Good evening, everyone. I'm Chris Saunders.
And I'm Charisma Robinson. State Minister for Finance Michael Halkitis addressing what he called the misconceptions about government's budget thrown out by the opposition. He maintained there was no manipulation for the fiscal data to be favorable as suggested by critics, and that the decision to present the budget in a condensed form as opposed to the traditional big book style came following a number of recommendations. As he gave a breakdown of the financial plan, he revealed a number of tax breaks, increases in some areas, and various bans. Our Noel Ferguson has more.
The 2015-2016 budget revealed that the duty on water imports had increased to 100% from 45%, 60%, and 75% on natural spring, mineral, or distilled water. Now, State Minister for Finance Michael Halkitis said the increase was necessary to save jobs in the local water manufacturing industry that was under threat.
The victims of dumping, i.e., that is water at very low prices, unfairly, not unfairly imported, but they weren't able to compete with the volume of water that is being imported at very low prices into the country. They stressed that if something was not done, if some relief was not brought to them, the water manufacturing industry was under tremendous threat, and hence hundreds of jobs stood to be lost. So we brought this relief to them as a form of protection to them. We don't anticipate that you would see any increase or any significant increase in the price of water. We expect it to remain the same.
There are a number of water manufacturers in the country, including AccuPure, Chelsea's Choice, and Nautilus Water, which all stand to benefit from the tax increase. Now, the new budget also puts in place a ban on wrecked cars. Halkitis explained that this was a major concern from stakeholders in the transportation industry.
It came about after consultation, ongoing for years, consultation with the insurance industry, with the police, road traffic department. It's also as a safety measure. You know, if these cars are rebuilt, they're brought in as wreck if they're rebuilt, and unfortunately they would have an accident, it endangers the public. And furthermore, countries around the world have done the same thing. And we don't think we should be one of the only countries where wrecked vehicles with what they call non-rebuildable titles, vehicles that have been written off, so to speak, should be allowed to be imported into the country. We're putting a restriction on any vehicle over 10 years.
And while countries, including the United States, uses agencies like Carfax to track the status and condition of vehicles, Halkitis says this is something that is also being considered.
Police, when I say speak to their computer systems, can speak to police, insurance, everybody involved, car dealers, everybody involved in the auto, either sales or importation or registration, so that we can keep track of things such as that.
Now debate continues on the budget that is expected to come into effect on July 1st. Janae Noel Ferguson, ZNS Network News.
A boat captain could face serious charges in connection with the apprehension of illegal immigrants in Eleuthera earlier this week. Immigration and Foreign Affairs Minister, the Honorable Fred Mitchell, contributed to the budget debate today and said 15 males, 7 females, and 2 children were taken into custody, and the search continues for more.
The children and women are in a safe house in Nassau, and they are to be flown out back to their home country on Saturday. and we are hoping that the males will be gone early next week. I'm advised that a dead body that is believed to be connected with the incursion in Eleuthera floated up at Harbor Island, and we believe it is connected with that landing. And we think we may have identified the captain of the vessel, and it is our intention to recommend the highest charges, murder if necessary, if the evidence bears it out.
You will have to wait a bit longer for your passport to be processed as the countdown is on to the November deadline for the electronic documents. Minister Mitchell noted that the wait time is now up to 12 weeks and they're working to speed up the process.
This, together with the summer rush, has caused a spike in the number of applications. I was at the passport office early this week, and I was advised that whereas the average last year that they interviewed was 150 persons per day, they are now seeing more than 300 people per day. They simply can't keep up with the expected demand. I'm sorry for these problems, but resource constraints are the main issue. And right now, I should be speaking with the public agencies to see whether or not we can get some emergency support in terms of personnel to try and work our way through this issue.
Last week, the Prime Minister during the budget debate that the mortgage relief plan is being reviewed with the hopes to bring a new plan that would assist homeowners facing foreclosure. The State Minister of Finance told us that meetings are being held with executives of clearing banks to facilitate this process.
Ongoing. As a matter of fact, we had a meeting yesterday. I'm exploring some options. When the Prime Minister wraps up the debate in about a week and a half, he'll be able to speak more expansively on it. I tried to cover as much as I could, but I had a time limitation as well. But it's not something that we've forgotten. As a matter of fact, we continue to meet. We see some possibilities, and so when the Prime Minister wraps up, I might expect him to be able to give us an update.
Chairman of the Bahamas Mortgage Corporation tonight is saying that since May 2012, they have approved about $24.5 million in private loans alone to more than 200 persons or families. Now, when taken in concert with the homes the Department of Housing has built, they arrive at the figure of about 270 homes being facilitated to new homeowners. The Senator Alex Storr says there's been much discussion about the number of homes being constructed under the PLP government, and many times the numbers don't take into consideration the impact the Bahamas Mortgage Corporation plays in facilitating home ownership beyond the typical government subdivisions. Including these numbers gives a clearer picture of the government's impact on the housing market. Also, when the PLP came to government, the government decided to focus on building homes in areas that had infrastructure along with aggressive funding protocols to increase ownership. The senator also pointed out that the corporation offers loans for home purchase, home construction, vacant land purchase, and the renovation of existing homes. This contribution is no longer to be overshadowed by the government's construction of homes when the result is the same: Bahamians becoming homeowners. Senator Storr also pointed out that the BNC approved the issuance of $100 million in bonds, which will further assist in making home ownership a dream of fellow Bahamians a reality. He added that the BMC, quite to the contrary to the concerns expressed by the opposition, the current board and executives of the BMC are quite aware of their current and future obligations and have designed a bond issue that will not cause any unbearable strain on the Bahamas Mortgage Corporation. He added that solvency of the corporation is and will remain their priority and commitment.
Coming up, find out why she's back in court. You're watching The Bahamas Tonight.
This portion of the news is brought to you by the new Shell & Leden, designed for extra miles.